I don't know how DDM's going, so I don't know how much
Yeah,
NXT we're going to
we
get
ain't got no
into.
tease.
But
Slick.
You
Yeah,
gotta
Slick.
fill in for me, Mimi. Oh,
it's an interesting time in NXT because the conversation we were having earlier this week was so Oba Femi's a champion, and Trick Williams said he got to figure out what
What he
he's
gonna
doing
do?
next.
yeet.
And
Him saying he's trying to figure out what he's doing next doesn't sound like main roster to me.
okay,
Like he sounds like he's unsure of himself. You know what I mean? Usually when you take that L to go to get elevated, it's like you lost, you go away for a second, you come back. Hey, we missed him. He's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do next. I'm be all right.
I'm
Keep my head up.
Cue Peanuts music.
Where can he go outside of?
That's what he said.
What I'm saying is, there's no other place for him. Like he's the main event of NXT. So you're moving him back down to push who?
No, you're creating a story. Why would he be pushing anybody? Like, and he can make people too,
Who is there
right?
to make?
That's the point.
Wesley's beef is with Oba Femi. Wesley is gonna be Oba Femi.
Right, but there's still other talents that we haven't seen, right?
So
You got to make an avenue for the next.
They
They got to make the next.
Oba Femi.
what's the NXT main event scene? Oba,
Trick.
Oba, Trick, Ethan Page,
And Gabagool.
Tony D'Angelo.
You think he's still?
He went out. He was the one that went out there to confront Oba. If he didn't have his beef show up,
So I mean, the fact is if you have a main event scene, which NXT has done a good job at having, then I think you still whatever guy that doesn't have something is where Trick can go.
Rock. What do you think, Rock? I don't know where is that? Who's that guy? You don't know. Ain't one. This is why I'm saying moving Trick. So if you move Trick down to wherever to help elevate or what, where does he go after that
Are
stuff?
they gonna put him with 51?
Who?
Trick and 51?
well, I mean that's the other part of this NXT conversation is after we spent so much time having this talk in the group chat that the news today of WWE and TNA announcing their multi-year partnership with allowing talents from NXT and Impact or NXT and TNA to show up on each other's brands. There's a lot of potential. Announcing that, shouts to Mimi. Mimi put a whole piece up on blackwrestling.com. Go check that out when you have a chance. About the potential of this moment for black wrestlers, for the indie scene. I think in general, there's a lot that could happen. And immediately we saw Masha Slamovich just sitting in the crowd on NXT recently. Rumble is right around the corner. Is Roxanne Perez still in NXT? She sounded like she was saying her goodbyes to the women's division to figure out what she's going to do. Could we see any type of Oba Femi or Trick Williams or Ethan Page or whoever in the Royal?
Trick could just be at NXT. I mean, at TNA. He could just be over there. That's a whole nother rock. He could.
He could wrestle AJ Francis.
Remember that just happened today. We ain't had this when I was arguing with y'all.
But they
but
information.
had it right here.
But I think
right in that pocket where your granddaddy put his numbers at.
That's what I'm saying. It came today.
But I'll say, just like I applauded the addition of Ethan Page in NXT because when Trick won that title and Carmelo went to the main roster, we were in this situation again, and what's the main event scene in NXT? And then Ethan Page showed up, and they were wrestling for a couple of. They had a feud where Ethan helped Trick in the ring, like sending Trick out on those type of excursions down to Impact or whatever. It could. Imagine he has beef with Joe Hendry down there. Like there's a lot that you could do in those back and forths, but I do wonder. It still does beg the question of where does Triple H feel like that's the path for Trick, or is Triple H ready to be like, hey, you're about to be in the Rumble, and then you about to be on Netflix for the rest of the year.
Worser ain't a word, right?
No,
but worser ain't a word. But I feel like the NXT TNA relationship was a worse kept secret than goddamn Penta.
Right.
Like, nigga, we been watching it for
the whole press release was like, yeah, remember all the stuff that happened between NXT and TNA? Yeah, we're about to make this happen for more years now.
It's happening all the time.
Versus, I don't know, Sean Tragedy, because it's more leaning towards the WWE side than the TNA side, because you know what I'm saying? Like, TNA could have been purgatory for him at that time, but he's over here. You know what I'm saying?
He's able to punch Javon Evans in the mouth every week.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. I genuinely, right now it's tough because I mean, to circle back to where we started, I like Oba Femi as world champion.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that I don't think I'm going to be seeing a lot of Trick Williams unless they're planning something for Stand and Deliver. Although Trick is definitely in line to get at least that title shot back.
Are those they not guaranteed down there, right?
Eddie Thorpe has a match against Oba Femi next week on NXT TV. The nigga that Oba Femi beat before he took the title. He beat up Eddie Thorpe backstage. Dakota Kai Man. He beat up Dakota Kai Man backstage and then said, hey, Ava, I know it's a triple threat. I beat one of the threats already. If he show up, I'm gonna beat him up again. But I'm taking this title tonight. And now he's gonna beat him up again.
I don't like this.
I don't know where Trick. If Trick goes backwards,
give me Oba and AJ. Give me Oba and AJ Francis.
I don't know where Trick. I don't know who Trick's dealing with.
I think the only other person that's like semi in the mix is Wesley.